What's up, guys? Aloha. So I hope everyone's doing great. Yeah, in today's video I'm just gonna talk story with you guys. Thankfully we've had about, I want to say 6-7 days of rest, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot, especially since up until this past week we were pretty much working 6 to 7 days a week. We've been blessed with a lot of work. I had a lot of jobs coming in, but I kind of let go of a couple because of this job, hence the thumbnail. But yeah, so pretty much we were set to start one of the biggest residential builds to date, actually. Roughly about 1,000 12-foot sheets, roughly about 1,000 sheets. So it was a huge compound. It was going to be level 5, and originally we were actually going to do the exterior as well. So that's what I mean about to date. It was going to be pretty much the biggest build we've done so far. So I went in at about, I want to say close to, I think almost 300,000 with the sorry, my dad stopped by. We hang out on Sundays, try to you know, have family time. But anyways, yeah, so 48,000 sheets. Interior, exterior was roughly, shucks, it was a 2-story. Long story short, it was a big job. There was a lot of potential in the beginning. I was pretty excited about it, but even though it was going to be one of the biggest jobs to date, as the start date got closer, little by little more red flags started popping up. So I say that because it's super important as small business owners. If you have your own business, you know, majority of the guys that follow this channel are tradesmen or in some type of field. But anyways, it's super important for us to kind of set our line in the sand as far as what we're willing to do, what we're willing to overlook, deal with, and you're gonna kind of get to those conclusions on your own. You're gonna set up your own rules, and you know what feels right for you, and so forth. But the first red flag for me was their turnover dates were just unreal. The guy, so the owner of this house, it was an owner builder type of thing. He's a big shot land developer here on the island. I don't even know, I didn't know his name. So it meant nothing to me, but when his name would come up in conversations, it was like, oh, you're doing that guy's house. But anyways, to me, it was kind of like, I don't know him, so he's just a regular customer. And again, I'm not dealing directly with him. I'm dealing with the GC that normally we deal with year-round. But on this particular project, he bid just the framing, hanging, stucco, and finish. So it was an owner builder, but he was using the GC as a subcontractor type of thing, and I was a sub of a sub. So anyways, the first red flag was his refusal to do any type of down payment. And I mean, he has the money, because this is an easy, I mean, once it's built, an easy $10 million house is huge in a super expensive part of Hawaii. So the money's there, but the reason he wasn't giving anything down is because he has so much ties within the construction field. Everyone else that was on site is these huge commercial companies on island that I guess normally do work with him. So it was one of those type of situations where you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of thing, which is super cool if you do business on the regular. You know, you already established that relationship. But if you're just starting to get to know each other and there's no down payment for a house that size, that means I would have had to front close to 80-90,000 on material, which is a big no-go for me, because I'm not about to finance somebody else's job. But anyways, we got past that. I talked to the GC. I trust the GC 100%. So I was like, okay, whatever, we'll do that. But then the scheduling was also ridiculous. They wanted us to do the interior and exterior simultaneously. And I'm talking about just the stucco work alone was going to take about a month and a half. All hands on deck. just focusing on that alone. They wanted the stucco and the drywall to be done at the same time in a month, which is just crazy. There's no way. There's only 6. My dad jumps back and forth from helping us and not helping us. So 7 of us, there's no way we could do that. We're not a huge company that have 20 employees at their disposal. So I let the GC know that that wasn't going to happen. So he translated it back to the architect. And long story short, we let go of the stucco because of that, because it was just too much of a headache. So I told him, you know what, let's just focus on the interior. Yeah, so the stucco started, and we were about 2 weeks out. So I had already previously, you know, I like to try to schedule construction. It's kind of like, you know, things change over in a matter of hours. You can be sure you have one job, you get the call, never mind, got canceled, we got someone else, blah, blah, blah. So things consistently change all the time. But for jobs like this, especially since it's so big, I needed to set apart at least 2-3 weeks. So I let go of a couple jobs, calls that were coming in, telling them, you know, we got this big job coming up, we're going to do this, that. And during this whole time, I just mean, me personally, I like to pray for every job, you know, just God, open the doors that are meant to be open, shut the ones that aren't. So in particular, right before going to our final meeting, before starting this said job, I said that prayer, quick in the truck. I went into the meeting, and it was just me and PM on site. The GC that I work with wasn't there, neither was architect. So it was just us 2 guys talking story. And he pretty much told me, you know what, I didn't tell anybody this yet, but they're thinking of maybe using the same guys as the outside since they're already here. And that to me was already like, oh, Roger, shoots, cancel. So it sounds kind of crazy that I would let go of a job that big, but for me, there was just too many kind of like, it didn't feel right. So what I'm trying to get at is no matter how big the job or how much you can potentially win, there's always going to be guys out there that are going to try to dangle this carrot in front of you. And you have to kind of set that line in the sand yourself, what you're willing to deal with and what you're not. And for me, even though I let go of a couple jobs, I mean, with estimating, coming and going, I want to say roughly we had about maybe $2,000 invested in this job to start, with time loss and everything. If you factor all that stuff in, estimating and all that, reading the plans, going back and forth, submittals. But that didn't matter because now, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, we had a full-blown just shutdown for a week. I told the guys, you know what, there's nothing. Submit your unemployment. If nothing pops up by the following week, maybe you'll collect a week. And then once the next house kicks in that I have lined up, because I don't have another house in the books lined up till like mid-September because I gave myself that chunk of time. But I mean, we'll be all right. The guys will, you know, be okay. I personally, I am enjoying this time off. And yeah, so the whole point of this video is know your worth, know what you're willing to do and not do, and kind of just stick with it. It's all going to work out in the end. So for us, we have work pretty much, thank God, set up for the rest of the year. We just have this little small space because of this job that fell through. But there's going to be times like that happen. And me personally, I'm just super happy it didn't happen because it was going to be level 5. There's tons of custom details that were not on the PDF when I bid it. So this 1,000-sheet house, I think after everything was said and done, if I factor in all the time and labor and material that it was going to cost, I was only standing to gain maybe like 10 grand after a month of just working 7 days a week and just headache. And that's not nearly enough for the amount of liability that job entails. All I need is just one guy to hit a screw, it go undetected, slow leak, mold, pow. So there was just way too much risk, not enough reward. But yeah, so just because the job is big and everything, guys, make sure that you stand your ground, you know your worth, and you know, take care. But anyways, another thing is we hit over 4,000. I apologize greatly for the last giveaway that we did. I want to say 6-7 months ago. I finally sent that out last week. I wasn't procrastinating. Honestly, this past week has been the only week that I had off since the beginning of the year. We've been working nonstop, besides the vacation we took during the summer. But during vacation, I can't do any business type of things because my wife won't let me. Anyways, hope you're well. We're going to be doing more videos this next week. The jobs start back up. Everything is going back to normal. But I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. Aloha. Hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.